Welcome to your deep dive. Today we're cracking open the book of 1 Samuel.
Ooh, 1 Samuel.
You've provided us with an audio version.
Right.
So we're going to pull out some of the most fascinating stories and figures within those chapters and see what we can learn from them.
Sounds good.
We've got stories of rivalry,
Uh-huh.
faith, epic battles, political intrigue,
Oh, wow.
even some surprising ancient beauty tips.
Interesting.
Buckle up because we're diving deep
Okay.
into a world of prophets, kings, and some seriously dramatic twists and turns.
I love it.
Where do you think we should start?
Well, what's fascinating about 1 Samuel is how it lays the groundwork.
Okay.
For so much of what we know about the history and faith of Israel,
Okay.
it's about beginnings.
Uh-huh.
The beginnings of prophecy,
Okay.
kingship,
Right.
and the lineage that would lead to King David.
Right.
But it also explores the complexities of power,
Yeah.
ambition, and the consequences of human choices.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Sure.
You mentioned King David, but our story actually starts much earlier
Yes.
with a woman named Hannah.
That's right.
Hannah's story is a powerful example of unwavering faith in the face of adversity.
It really is.
She's desperate for a child, which in ancient Israel
Yeah.
was a really big deal.
It was.
A woman's worth was often tied to her ability to bear children.
Exactly.
And it's not just that she wants a child.
No,
She makes this incredibly bold vow to God.
she does.
She promises that if he grants her a son,
Right.
she'll dedicate him to service in the temple.
Wow.
It's a testament to her devotion,
Yeah.
but it also reveals the societal pressures women faced back then.
Uh-huh.
Imagine making that kind of promise.
I know.
It shows just how deep her longing was.
It really does.
And then there's this detail about Hannah praying silently.
Oh, yes.
Just her lips moving, but no sound coming out.
Interesting.
It's like she's pouring out her heart to God in this intensely private way.
Uh-huh.
I can relate to that.
Yeah.
Sometimes the most powerful prayers are the ones whispered in the quiet of our own hearts.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And of course,
Yeah.
her prayer is answered.
She gives birth to Samuel
She does.
and, true to her word,
Yes.
dedicates him to the temple.
Right?
I always picture her making him a new robe every year.
Oh, that's a nice thought.
A small gesture.
Yeah.
But it speaks volumes about the love and care
Right.
surrounding those in religious service.
Yeah.
It's a lovely image.
Yeah.
But speaking of the temple,
Oh.
that's where we encounter a less than ideal situation
Okay.
with Eli, the high priest,
Yeah.
and his two sons.
Oh, yeah. Hophni and Phinehas.
To put it mildly,
Right.
Hophni and Phinehas were corrupt,
Yeah.
taking the best meat offerings for themselves
I know.
before they were even offered to God.
Seriously.
It was a major violation of sacred ritual.
It was.
They basically spat in the face of tradition
They did.
and showed zero respect for their position.
Wow.
So it wasn't just a case of bad table manners.
No.
It was a serious religious offense.
Absolutely.
Their actions reveal a deeper disregard for God and
Yeah.
the sanctity of their roles.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even seemingly small choices
Uh,
can have big consequences,
I know.
especially when it comes to faith and tradition.
It's true.
And it's against this backdrop of corruption
Okay.
that young Samuel receives his calling.
Wow.
Imagine hearing the voice of God as a young boy.
I know.
No wonder he's confused at first.
Oh, yeah.
He thinks it's Eli calling him.
Right.
But thankfully,
Yes.
Eli recognizes what's happening and
Okay.
guides Samuel to respond.
That's good.
It highlights the importance of mentorship,
Right.
especially in discerning those signs that
Yeah.
we sometimes miss.
It's true. We do.
Speaking of signs,
Oh, okay.
things take a dramatic turn.
Oh, no.
When the Philistines, Israel's arch enemies,
Yes.
attack and capture the Ark of the Covenant.
Wow.
Talk about a major blow.
Huge.
It was more than just a military defeat. Right.
It was a spiritual crisis.
It was.
The ark represented God's presence among the Israelites,
Yeah.
and they believed their victories depended on it.
Uh-huh.
Losing the ark was like losing your security blanket.
I see.
Their very identity was shaken,
Wow.
and their reaction to this loss is intense.
What happens?
Eli literally dies from shock when he hears the news.
Oh my goodness.
And his daughter-in-law goes into labor
Oh wow.
and dies shortly after giving birth.
That's so sad.
The name she gives her child,
Yeah.
Ichabod,
Ichabod.
sums up their despair.
What does it mean?
It means the glory has departed.
Wow.
A stark reminder of what they've lost,
Yeah.
both physically and spiritually.
That's powerful.
But here's where things get really interesting.
Okay.
For the Philistines, at least, they've captured the ark,
Right.
thinking they've won.
Yeah.
Except it turns out to be more of a curse than a blessing.
Oh, really? How so?
They put the ark in their god Dagon's temple.
But then strange things start happening.
Like what?
Dagon keeps falling over in front of the ark.
What?
First his face to the ground, then the next day, his head and hands are broken off.
Seriously?
Sounds like the ark was fighting back.
That's wild.
Plus the Philistines start getting struck with tumors.
Oh no.
Not exactly the spoils of war they were hoping for.
Not at all.
You have to remember, in the ancient world,
Yeah.
these kinds of plagues were seen as divine punishment.
Right.
The Philistines were terrified.
I bet.
They'd unleashed a power they couldn't control.
Wow.
Okay, I have to ask.
Yeah.
What's with the golden tumors and rats they make as offerings?
Yeah.
It sounds more like a bad spa day than a religious ritual.
I know, right?
Desperate times call for desperate measures, I guess.
I guess so.
It's a glimpse into how ancient cultures viewed disease and healing.
Interesting.
Almost like a twisted form of sympathetic magic.
Right.
But it shows just how desperate they were to appease whatever force they believed was behind these afflictions.
Okay.
So after all this chaos,
Yeah.
they finally decide to send the ark back to Israel.
Oh, okay.
But even that doesn't go smoothly.
What happens?
Some people in Beth Shemesh are struck down for looking inside the ark.
Oh my goodness.
A stark reminder that even though it symbolizes God's presence,
Right?
it's not to be treated lightly.
Yeah.
70 people just for peeking.
Wow.
It really emphasizes the awe and reverence they held for the ark.
It does.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
it eventually finds a safe haven in Kiriath Jearim
Okay.
for the next 20 years.
Okay.
And during those 20 years,
Mm.
Samuel steps up,
Good.
not just as a priest,
Okay.
but as a leader and judge,
Right.
guiding the Israelites back to God.
That's good.
They repent.
Uh-huh.
They experience victory over the Philistines.
Okay.
Things are looking up,
Great.
except then they decide they want a king.
Oh.
They tell Samuel they want to be like all the other nations. And Samuel warns them that kings come with baggage,
Yeah.
taxes, armies, demands,
Mhm.
but they're determined to have their monarchy.
Wow.
This is a huge turning point for Israel.
It is.
Moving from a theocracy,
Yeah.
where God is the ultimate ruler,
Right.
to a monarchy with a human king.
Right.
You might be wondering, what's the big deal?
Yeah.
Well, for the Israelites,
Yeah.
it was a major shift in how they understood their relationship with God
Nice.
and their place in the world.
Exactly.
And this tension between divine authority and human ambition
Right.
will play out in a big way as we move into the story of Saul.
Oh, that's gonna be good.
Saul, first king of Israel,
Okay.
a tall, handsome young man
Mhm.
who started out searching for his father's lost donkeys
What?
and ended up finding a kingdom.
No way.
It's like something out of a fairy tale.
Right.
Except this is just the beginning of a much more complex story.
Oh, I bet.
And it's packed with those classic signs and wonders. Samuel anoints Saul with oil,
Right.
and Saul encounters a group of prophets
Uh-huh.
and finds himself prophesying along with them.
Oh, wow.
It's a powerful visual.
Yeah.
This ordinary guy suddenly transformed into the chosen leader of Israel.
That's incredible.
But not everyone is convinced.
Oh.
Some people doubt his ability to lead,
Really?
wondering, can this fella really save us?
Interesting.
It's a reminder that leadership, even when divinely appointed,
Right.
rarely comes without challenges or skeptics.
That's true.
It's human nature, I guess. We always question authority.
Yeah.
But Saul soon silences the doubters,
Oh, good.
leading the Israelites to victory against the Ammonites.
Nice.
He proves he's got the strength and smarts to protect his people.
Okay.
And you knew there was a but coming.
Oh boy, here we go.
There's always a but in 1 Samuel.
Right.
This is where the seeds of conflict are sown.
Okay.
The next chapters introduce a new character who will change everything.
Dave.
A young shepherd from Bethlehem.
Wow. Yeah.
So we've got this young shepherd, David, entering the scene.
Isn't it?
His
Wow.
introduction is almost casual, right?
Yeah.
He's just the youngest son,
Right.
out tending sheep while his brothers are off fighting.
Okay.
But you quickly realize there's something special about this.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
He's described as brave,
Uh-huh.
a skilled musician,
Right?
someone who takes down lions and bears,
Oh,
not your average shepherd.
not at all.
These qualities hint at the leadership potential
Okay.
that will eventually make him one of the most famous figures in biblical history.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
And then, of course, there's the iconic story of David and Goliath.
Oh, yeah.
You know, the one
I do.
Giant Philistine warrior haunting the Israelite army.
Right.
Everyone's terrified.
Yeah.
And then young David steps up.
Oh,
like, no problem. I got this.
What?
It's such a classic underdog story.
It is.
And it resonates with us even today.
Because it taps into that universal desire to see good triumph over evil, the little guy win against all odds.
I love it.
But it's even more fascinating when you think about the military context.
Oh, really?
Wait, was a slingshot really that big of a deal back then?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Skilled slingers were like ancient special forces.
Wow.
They could launch projectiles with deadly accuracy.
Seriously?
David taking down Goliath with a single stone.
Yeah.
That would have sent shockwaves through both armies.
I bet.
It instantly established him as a warrior to be reckoned with. A man of incredible skill and courage.
Talk about a reputation booster.
For sure.
But all this newfound fame and admiration doesn't sit well with King Saul, does it?
Ooh, no, not at all.
Not one bit.
Saul's got this classic case of insecure leader syndrome.
Right.
He sees David's popularity and military success as a threat.
Yeah.
And it consumes him. Jealousy, paranoia. It's a toxic cocktail. That leads him down a dark path.
And it results in some seriously messed up behavior.
Like what?
He tries to kill David multiple times.
What?
Even turning against his own son, Jonathan.
Oh, no.
Who remains a true friend to David.
Wow.
The contrast between Saul and Jonathan is striking.
It is.
Jonathan embodies loyalty, courage, and integrity.
Right.
He's willing to stand up to his own father.
Wow.
To defend what's right.
Yeah.
Even when it puts him at risk.
That's amazing.
His friendship with David is a testament to the power of true loyalty.
Yeah.
Especially amidst family drama and political turmoil.
That's true.
Because it's not just political, right?
No.
It's deeply personal.
Right.
Imagine being David constantly looking over your shoulder, knowing your own king is trying to kill you.
Oh my gosh.
He spends years in exile, hiding in caves, relying on the kindness of others, even living among the Philistines. His former enemies. Talk about a crash course in survival skills and strategic thinking.
I know, right?
It's in these desperate circumstances that we see David's true character emerge. He's resourceful, strategic, always thinking a few steps ahead. But even more importantly, he shows remarkable restraint.
How so?
There are at least 2 instances where he could have easily killed Saul, but chooses not to.
He doesn't.
He has Saul at his mercy. Not once, but twice.
Wow.
That takes some serious self-control.
It does.
It shows that even in the face of betrayal and danger, David refuses to compromise his values.
Right.
He trusts that God will ultimately deliver justice. A powerful lesson in forgiveness and letting go of the need for revenge.
That's a good point.
It's a reminder that sometimes the bravest thing we can do is choose mercy.
Right.
Even when it feels like we've been wronged.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
And while David is on the run, Saul's paranoia only gets worse.
Oh, no.
We learn about the horrific massacre of the priests at Nob. Innocent people slaughtered.
Right.
Because Saul suspected them of helping David.
Wow. It's chilling, really.
It is.
It shows how quickly power can corrupt.
Right.
How fear and insecurity can twist a leader into a tyrant capable of unspeakable cruelty.
Wow.
Saul's story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition and the devastating consequences of succumbing to our darkest impulses.
It really is.
It's a reminder that true leadership requires more than just strength and ambition.
It does.
It demands integrity, compassion, and the willingness to put the needs of others before our own.
I agree.
And amidst all this darkness and drama, we encounter another incredible woman, Abigail? Abigail is brilliant. She's married to Nabal. A wealthy but incredibly foolish man.
Right.
When Nabal insults David and his men, David is ready to retaliate with violence.
Oh, no.
But Abigail steps in and prevents a bloodbath.
Seriously.
She's like a masterclass in conflict resolution.
I love it.
I mean, her husband is a total jerk.
He is.
But she stays calm. Assesses the situation. Comes up with a plan and saves the day.
Wow.
Talk about grace under pressure.
I know.
She's the epitome of wisdom and courage.
She is.
She stands up to both her husband and David.
Wow.
Navigating a potentially deadly situation with intelligence and diplomacy.
Right.
She's a role model for how to deal with difficult people and handle high-stakes conflict.
I agree.
I'm starting to think we need a whole separate deep dive just on Abigail.
I know, me too.
I'd listen to that.
Yeah.
But for now, back to our main narrative.
Okay.
Things continue to spiral downward for Saul.
Oh, no.
The death of the prophet Samuel marks a turning point.
Okay.
He's lost his mentor, his guide, and he's completely isolated. In a moment of desperation, he even consults a medium to try and contact Samuel's spirit.
Seriously?
A king.
Yeah.
Breaking his own laws against sorcery.
I know.
Just to seek guidance.
Wow.
It's heartbreaking to see him so lost and afraid.
It is.
It shows just how far he's fallen.
That's sad.
It speaks to the depths of his despair. He knows he's losing everything. His power, his kingdom, his sanity.
Right.
It's a tragic downfall.
It is.
And it all culminates in the final battle.
Okay.
Against the Philistines at Mount Gilboa.
Wow.
This battle is a pivotal moment in 1 Samuel.
It is.
It ends in tragedy.
Yeah.
With the deaths of Saul and his sons.
Oh, wow.
Including Jonathan.
That's so sad.
It's a devastating conclusion to Saul's reign.
It is.
Marked by defeat and despair.
Right.
But it also sets the stage for David's rise to power.
It does.
Exactly.
Saul's death,
Yeah.
though tragic, is a necessary turning point.
It is.
It clears the way for David to step into his destiny as the next king of Israel.
Right.
But that, as they say, is a story for another deep dive.
Exactly. Wow, what a roller coaster.
That's all right.
This deep dive into 1 Samuel has been...
It's been pretty intense.
It's amazing how these ancient stories can still feel so relevant today. We've seen the highs and lows of leadership.
Right.
The devastating consequences of jealousy and insecurity.
Yeah.
And the incredible power of faith, courage, and forgiveness.
For sure.
I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But I'm feeling like I need to sit with all this for a minute and process it all.
Yeah, I hear you.
It's easy to get caught up in the battles and the drama.
For sure.
But 1 Samuel ultimately challenges us to look inward.
It
asks us to examine our own choices, our own motivations.
Yeah.
Are we letting fear and insecurity drive our actions?
That's a good question.
Or are we choosing to lead with integrity,
Right.
compassion, and a commitment to what's right?
Those are some big questions.
And I think what strikes me most is that these stories aren't just about ancient history.
No.
They're about the human condition,
Right.
the timeless struggles we all face.
They are.
I mean, who hasn't wrestled with feelings of jealousy or insecurity at some point?
It's true.
And how often do we see those same dynamics play out on a larger scale in our families, our workplaces, even in global politics?
Exactly.
The characters in 1 Samuel might have lived thousands of years ago, but their struggles, their triumphs, and their failures are still so relatable.
They are.
They remind us that we're all flawed human beings.
That's true.
Capable of both great and terrible things, and the choices we make, even the seemingly small ones, can have a ripple effect that extends far beyond ourselves.
It's true.
One character who really stands out to me in all of this is Abigail. She's just so incredibly wise and level-headed. I mean, her husband practically throws a hand grenade into their lives with his foolish behavior, but she doesn't panic.
No.
She doesn't lash out.
Right.
She steps up and uses her intelligence and diplomacy to diffuse the situation.
That's amazing.
Talk about grace under pressure.
He's incredible.
It makes me wonder if we could all use a little more of Abigail's wisdom in our own lives.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world, where things can feel so polarized and divided. Maybe we could all benefit from taking a step back, listening more, and approaching conflict with a little more understanding and compassion.
I agree.
I couldn't agree more.
And I think that's one of the key takeaways from our deep dive into 1 Samuel.
It is.
It's a reminder that we all have the potential
to
be both heroes and villains in our own stories. And the choices we make day in and day out shape not only our own destinies, but also the world around us.
So much to think about.
I know.
For you listening.
Yeah.
We hope this deep dive has sparked your own curiosity about the book of 1 Samuel.
Here's a good one.
It's a story that has resonated with people for centuries.
It has.
And it continues to offer insights into the human experience that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago.
That's true.
We encourage you to explore this book further.
Yeah.
To delve into its rich tapestry of characters and events. Pay attention to the details, the motivations, the choices that shape the narrative.
Okay.
And perhaps most importantly, consider how these ancient stories might illuminate your own journey, your own struggles, and your own potential for growth and transformation.
That's a good point.
Until next time, happy exploring.
Bye.